The disease was silent. It did not roar, it did not scream, and it did not show mercy. People in the galaxy called it red ash because the bodies of the dead looked like they had turned to warm, fading dust. In less than 1 month, red ash had destroyed 7 planets. Entire cities fell in one day. Space stations went dark, and colony ships stopped answering calls. No cure existed. No medicine helped. Every species was afraid. But there was one strange fact that confused every scientist. Humans did not die from red ash. Some became sick for a short time, but they always healed. Their bodies fought the disease in a way no other species could. Humans were the only hope now. But they were too far away, and time was too short. Across the stars, on a silver-blue alien ship, a young alien girl named Lira stood before her leaders. She was from the race called the Alarintal, graceful, with light silver eyes that glowed softly in the dark. Their world was calm and peaceful, not built for war or disease. But now, fear lived in every home. Red ash moved toward them like a shadow stretching across the galaxy. Lyra's hands shook as she listened to the council leader, an old Alarin whose face carried hundreds of years of wisdom. "Lira," the leader said, "our scientists have found the only path to survival. The cure can only be made through a genetic bond between an Alarin and a human. This bond is rare and sacred. It is not romantic. It is biological, but it is the only way." Lira swallowed hard. She understood the weight of his words. For Alarin, the bonding ritual was something done only in moments of extreme need. It mixed DNA, life energy, and memory. It was dangerous, painful, and exhausting. But if it worked, her body would create the first immunity. Her people could study it. Her world could be saved. But first she needed a human. "Your mission," the leader said, "is to find a human on the frontier planet called Haven 3. You must complete the bond before the disease reaches us. You are our strongest candidate, Lira. You have the highest chance of surviving the ritual." Lira looked down at her thin hands. She did not feel strong. She felt very small, but if she said no, her people would die. "I accept," she whispered. The room felt colder after those words. Everyone knew what she risked. The disease killed in days. If she touched a surface with red ash on it, she would be infected. If she waited too long after infection, the ritual would fail. Time would not be her friend. Lira walked to her small travel ship, a white craft shaped like a folded wing. The doors closed behind her with a soft hiss, and she sat in the pilot's seat. For a moment, she looked at her reflection in the glass. Her silver eyes looked brighter than usual. Maybe it was fear. Or something else. "Please let me be strong enough," she whispered to herself. The ship launched into the dark sky, rising higher and higher until the stars stretched all around her like shining dust. She set the course for Haven 3. The journey would take many hours. She tried to sleep, but every time she closed her eyes, she imagined her home turning red, just like all the worlds before it. When she woke, alarms screamed through the cabin. "Impact warning," the ship system said calmly. "What impact?" Lira gasped. A meteor fragment, small but burning bright, smashed into the side of her craft. The ship shook wildly. Sparks shot from the control panel. She tried to steer, but the damage was too much. The ship spun as it broke through Haven 3's atmosphere. Flames danced around the outer hull. Lira gripped the controls, teeth clenched, eyes wide. She could not fail now. She could not die before she even reached a human. The ship crashed into a forest, sliding through trees, kicking up a storm of dirt, broken metal, and smoke. It finally slammed to a stop. Inside, Lira hung from her seat, dizzy, coughing, struggling to breathe. She heard voices outside, human voices. Many of them soldiers. Their flashlights cut through the smoke like white spears. Lira tried to stand, but her legs shook. The infection? No, she had only crash landed. She forced herself up, knowing this moment mattered. If the wrong humans found her, she would be locked away. And she would die before ever making the cure. She placed a trembling hand on the door and whispered, "Please, let this human be the one." The door opened, and dozens of lights pointed at her. Her mission had begun. Smoke rose from the broken ship like a thin gray ribbon, twisting into the night sky. Human soldiers surrounded the wreck, their weapons shining in the cold light. None of them moved closer. They waited for orders. They waited for the unknown, but one man stepped forward. His name was Evan Hawley, a simple engineer who had no reason to be there. He was not a soldier. He did not belong on the front line. He was only present because he had been repairing the outpost's satellite tower when the crash shook the ground. Something told him he needed to see who had fallen from the sky. Evan held no gun. He only carried a small scanner and a bright, steady light. His dark eyes narrowed as he studied the strange white craft. It was smooth, beautiful, and nothing like the ships he knew. "Be careful," a soldier whispered behind him. "We don't know what's inside." Evan ignored him. Then the hatch opened with a long, shaking creak. A cold breath of alien air rushed out. Everyone raised their weapons. Evan lifted his light and stepped forward. An alien girl stood at the opening, holding onto the frame to steady herself. She was tall, thin, and glowing faintly. Her silver eyes reflected the human flashlights like mirrors. Her skin, pale and almost blue, shimmered weakly as if her light was fading from the crash. The soldiers gasped. Evan froze. For a moment, no one spoke. Then the girl took one step forward and nearly fell. Evan rushed to catch her before she hit the ground. She was surprisingly light, like her bones were hollow or her body was not made for heavy gravity. "Do not touch it," one soldier barked, but Evan already had. He held her gently, lowering her to the ground. The alien girl looked at him with wide, frightened eyes. Her voice trembled like soft wind through metal. "You are human?" Evan nodded slowly. "Yeah, my name is Evan. What happened to you?" Her breath shook. She looked weak, too weak for someone who had just survived a crash. Something deeper was wrong. "I came because my people are dying," she whispered. "You must listen. You must believe me." The soldiers surrounded them, shouting orders. They demanded she lie on the ground. They pointed guns at her head. But Lira, though scared, kept her eyes only on Evan, as if he were the only one she trusted. "My name is Lira," she said. "The disease called red ash, it reaches us now." Evan felt his blood run cold. Humans had heard rumors across the stars. Planets falling silent, ships disappearing. A plague that moved faster than light. He had never expected someone affected by it to fall right in front of him. Evan lowered his voice. "Are you infected?" She shook her head. "Not yet, but the air from my crashed ship. It may hold particles. I do not have long." The soldiers heard that and stepped back. A few muttered curses. Evan looked at her hands. They trembled uncontrollably. Maybe from shock. Maybe from something worse. "What do you want from a human?" he asked. Lira hesitated, as if the truth was heavy. Then she spoke in a shaky whisper. "A human's biology can fight red ash. My people cannot. We need a bond between human and Alarin. Only through this can my body create immunity." Evan blinked. "A bond, like mixing DNA?" "Yes," she breathed. "A ritual, ancient, safe for humans, dangerous for me. But it is the only way." The soldiers raised their weapons higher. "Sir, she's requesting biological contact. We need to detain her now." They moved toward her. Lira flinched and grabbed Evan's sleeve weakly. "Please, help me. If they lock me away, I will die before the bonding can be done. If I die, my world dies." Evan stared into her shimmering eyes. There was fear, but also truth, raw truth. She was not lying. She was desperate, but he was human, an engineer, not a hero. What could he possibly do? The soldiers reached them. Lira whispered, voice cracking, "You are my only chance." Something inside Evan shifted, something old and human. The instinct to protect, to help, to stand against fear. He stepped in front of her. "Wait," Evan said, raising a hand. "She needs medical help." "That thing is a threat," the captain growled. "She's a person," Evan said. "And she came to us for help, not to hurt anyone." The soldiers hesitated. Just enough. Lira leaned against him, trembling more now. Her skin flickered with faint red lines, veins glowing like embers. Evan swallowed hard. Was the disease already reaching her? Before he could ask, Lira whispered, "It has begun inside me. Faster than expected. Time is short. I need the ritual soon, very soon." Evan's world tilted. He had no idea what he was being pulled into. But one thing was clear. If he walked away, she would die. And maybe the galaxy with her. Evan kept one hand on Lyra's shoulder as the soldiers closed in. She was trembling harder now, but not from fear this time. Thin red lines crawled across her skin like glowing cracks. They pulsed in slow, painful waves, as if something deep inside her was waking. "Evan," she whispered, "the infection is growing." He didn't know much about alien biology, but he knew she was in trouble. Her breathing was fast and shallow. Her legs barely held her up. Whatever red ash was, it had started attacking her body far faster than she had predicted. The captain stepped forward with a metal, restraining band in his hand. "Move, engineer. We are taking the alien into quarantine." Evan didn't move. "She needs help," he insisted. "Not a cage." The captain's face tightened. "Protocol exists for a reason. If she carries a plague, we cannot risk an outbreak." Lyra's eyes lifted weakly toward the captain. "If you take me away, the cure dies with me." Most of the soldiers ignored her words. Fear clouded their judgment. They had heard stories of red ash eating through whole cities. They did not want to be next. A younger soldier whispered, "Sir, she could be lying. Or dangerous." Evan shook his head. "Look at her. She's barely standing. And she asked for help. Or she wants to get close to humans," the captain snapped. "To spread the disease faster." Lyra's knees buckled. Evan caught her again before she hit the ground. Her skin was hot, too hot, like fire lived under her flesh. "Please." She breathed, "Take me somewhere safe. I can't stay here. The air is too heavy. Too thick." Evan looked around. Soldiers aimed rifles at her head. Drones hovered overhead. The forest crackled with tension. She would never survive being dragged to a military lab, and she knew it. "Evan," she whispered, leaning close to him, "I chose this planet because I sensed human life here. Your biology is the key. But if I die before the ritual, nothing will matter." He felt her weight sinking against him. The red cracks on her skin spread like slowly branching rivers. He had no medical training, but even he knew her time was running out. The captain took another step forward. "Engineer Hale, step aside." "That's an order." Evan hesitated. Just for a breath. But that was enough. Lira collapsed fully, her body glowing faintly with sickly red light. Evan dropped to his knees beside her. "No!" he shouted. "If you move her now, she die." One soldier raised his weapon. "She's turning red, she's infected. She's dangerous. She's not attacking anyone." Evan shouted, but fear was stronger than reason. A drone zoomed closer, scanning her. The scanner beeped, showing rising heat signatures and unstable energy patterns. "She's destabilizing," the captain barked. "We secure her now." A stun pulse charged in the drone's emitter. Lyra's eyes widened weakly. "Evan, you must stop them. I cannot survive a shock." Evan's heart slammed against his ribs. He didn't think. He just moved. He placed his body between Lira and the drone. The captain cursed. "Engineer, Move or you'll kill her. Evan shouted. And you'll kill your chances of a cure. The soldiers froze for a moment. Evan continued, breathing hard. If she wanted to hurt us, she would have done it the second she stepped out of that ship. She came here to find a human. That's all. Lira tugged weakly on his sleeve. Please, I must leave this place. The disease reacts to fear and threat. It grows faster. I need calm. I need safety. Evan looked into her shimmering eyes. The pain in them was real, deep, not something that could be faked. He made his decision. Captain, Evan said slowly, let me take her to the old mining station. It's empty. It's isolated. I can keep her contained while we figure out the truth. No, the captain said flatly. She is a biological hazard. Evan clenched his fists. So am I now. I touched her. I carried her. If she's infected, I could be too. Locking her away won't save anyone. The soldiers got quiet. No one had thought of that. The captain's expression faltered for the first time. Lira winced as another wave of pain rippled through her body. Red light flickered across her arms like fireflies trapped under her skin. She gritted her teeth, trying to stay conscious. I do not have much time, she whispered. Evan knew she was right. Every second outdoors made her worse. Suddenly, a low rumble echoed overhead. A storm cloud was forming unnaturally fast, dark, swirling, charged with strange energy. The crash must have disrupted the atmosphere. Rain began to fall thick. Heavy drops. And where the rain hit Lira's skin, the red crack sizzled. She cried out in pain. The soldiers stepped back. Horrified. We need to move her now, Evan said urgently. The weather is accelerating the infection. Lira clung to him, her voice thin. Help me, please. The captain lowered his weapon. Not out of trust, but because he realized she might explode with energy if the rain continued to hit her. Fine, he growled. Engineer Halle, get her out of here. But if she turns dangerous, we won't save you. Evan lifted Lira into his arms. Her light flickered weakly. He whispered, I won't let anything happen to you. And as he carried her into the stormy darkness, he felt a strange truth forming. He didn't know her. He didn't understand her. But he was now tied to her fate, and the galaxy's survival might depend on what he did. Next. Evan moved as fast as he could through the storm, his arms tight around Lira's weak body. The old mining station lay deep in the forest, far from the soldiers, far from the noise, and far from anything that could set off her infection again. The path was rough and slippery. Rain soaked Evan's clothes. Cold wind cut across his face. But he kept going. Lira's head rested against his shoulder. Her breathing came in short, painful breaths. The red cracks on her skin pulsed with faint light, glowing brighter when the thunder rolled across the sky. You're burning up, Evan whispered. Just hold on a little longer. Lira tried to smile, but her face twisted with pain instead. I can feel the disease testing me, she said softly. It learns. It adapts. If it reaches my heart, I will not survive. Evan held her tighter. We'll make it. I promise. Thunder boomed overhead. Trees shook. The storm felt unnatural, as if the planet itself sensed something powerful awakening inside the alien girl. Evan didn't understand the science behind her illness, but he understood fear, and he saw plenty of it in Lira's trembling hands. Finally, the metal structure of the mining station came into view, an enormous, abandoned building made of rusted steel and broken lights. It stood like a dark skeleton in the rain. This place, Lira whispered weakly, is quiet. That is good. Evan pushed the heavy door open with his shoulder. It groaned loudly, echoing through the empty halls. Inside, the air was cool and dry. Old machines lined the walls, silent and forgotten. Dust covered the floor. He set Lira down gently on a workbench and quickly looked around for anything he could use. Blankets, tools, old systems that still worked. Lira watched him with tired eyes. "Thank you. Evan, you did not have to help me. You risked your life." Evan shook his head. "You came here asking for help. That's enough for me." The red cracks flickered again. Lira winced, gripping the edge of the table. "Sit still," Evan said softly. "I'll find something to cool you down." He dug through cabinets and found an emergency kit. Inside were old thermal blankets and water containers. He wrapped one blanket around her and placed a cool cloth on her forehead. Lira closed her eyes, breathing a little easier. "Your kindness. It is strange to me," she whispered. "Most species flee from red ash. You came closer." Evan sat beside her. "Because you're not the virus. You're a person." That made her eyes soften. "Humans are different than I expected." A sudden noise echoed deeper inside the station, a metal clang. Evan rose instantly, scanning the shadows. "Stay here. I'll check it out." "No," Lira whispered sharply. "Do not go too far. The disease reacts to my fear. If I panic, it grows faster." Evan hesitated, then stepped only a few paces away while keeping her in sight. Something moved in the darkness, fast, small, and metallic. It wasn't a creature. It was a drone. One of the military scouts had followed the trail. Evan cursed under his breath. They sent a tracker. The drone scanned the air, its faint red beam sweeping across the room. Lira's breathing grew faster. "If it gets too close, it will record my energy levels. They will take me. They will stop the ritual." Evan didn't think. He grabbed a metal pole from the floor and threw it at the drone. It struck the drone's side, knocking it into a wall. Sparks shot out. The drone crashed to the ground, broken but still blinking weakly. Lira flinched. "You should not fight for me." "Too late," Evan said. "I already am." Lira looked at him with disbelief and a hint of something deeper. Something like trust. "Evan," she said quietly, "I must tell you the truth. My people, my world. We once saved humanity long ago. But your species forgot. We never asked for thanks. Now we need your help, and you are the first human to give it freely." He sat back beside her. "Tell me what I have to do." Lira swallowed hard. "The bonding ritual mixes our energy and DNA. It creates a new pattern that stops the disease. But it is not simple. It requires calm, trust, and a safe space. And," her voice wavered, "and the disease will fight us." Evan felt his stomach twist. "Will it hurt you?" "It will hurt both of us," she whispered. "But without it, I will die within hours." Evan nodded slowly. "Then we'll do it. Whatever it takes." Lira looked at him for a long moment, searching his face, searching for fear, hesitation, or lies. But she found none. Outside, the storm grew louder. Inside, the air grew still. Lira's voice broke the silence. "Evan, thank you for not being afraid of me." He gave her a small, steady smile. "We're in this together now." And in that lonely mining station, with danger closing in and time running out, a fragile bond began to form, one that might save a world or destroy them both. The storm outside grew more violent, hurling rain against the metal walls with a steady, angry rhythm. Every rumble of thunder sounded like a warning. The old mining station groaned under the pressure, but it held strong. Inside, Lira sat on the bench, wrapped in the thermal blanket. The red cracks on her skin pulsed brighter, now slow at first, then in painful waves that made her wince each time. Evan knew she was running out of time. He cleared a space in the middle of the room, pushing aside broken tools and rusted crates. He found a power terminal on the wall, and managed to start one of the old lights overhead. It flickered but stayed lit, casting a steady glow over them both. "Okay," Evan said quietly. "Tell me how this ritual works." Lira looked around the room first, as if making sure they were alone. "It requires a stable environment," she began softly. "Quiet, safety, no fear." Evan half laughed. "Well, we have silence. Safety is debatable. And fear? I'm trying." Lira attempted a small smile, but pain quickly washed it away. "Humans always joke when afraid. It is strange, but comforting." She placed her trembling hand on the metal table to steady herself. Evan noticed that when she breathed, small sparks of blue light escaped from her skin, drifting upward like glowing dust. "What's happening to you?" he asked. "The disease is trying to break my energy structure," she said. "My body glows because my cells are fighting. But they will not hold much longer." Evan swallowed hard. "Then tell me how to start." Lira took a slow breath. "The bonding ritual is done through nanite resonance. Not touch, not emotion. It is a scientific connection, but deep and hard to control." Evan nodded. "Okay, nanites I can handle. I've worked with tech like that before." "Not like mine," she warned. "Alarine nanites are alive. They respond to both biology and spirit." He blinked. "Spirit?" Lira nodded weakly. "Yes, they search for intention. They listen for courage. If they sense fear, they may reject the bond." Evan looked down at his shaking hands. "Courage, right." Lira's voice softened. "Do not fear. I am here with you." She reached into a small pouch that had survived the crash. Inside was a small crystal device, no larger than a coin, glowing with soft silver light. "This is the bond core," she said. "It holds my nanites. When activated, they will enter your bloodstream. They will read your strength, your mind, your will. Then they will merge with my own." Evan stared at the crystal. "That sounds dangerous." "It is," Lira's voice trembled. "It may cause pain. It may weaken you. But without it, I die in minutes." He looked into her tired silver eyes. Even with the disease tearing her apart, she remained calm. "Brave, determined." He nodded. "I'm ready." Lira held the bond core between both hands. The red cracks on her skin flared, as if the disease felt the preparation. She winced but continued. "Sit in front of me," she said softly. Evan moved closer, sitting across from her on the dusty floor. The storm rumbled behind them, shaking the walls, but neither of them moved. Lira closed her eyes. Her breathing slowed. "When I activate this, you must stay calm, no matter what happens." Evan nodded. "I'll try." Lira pressed her thumb against the bond core. It flared with bright light. A thin stream of silver energy reached out from the crystal, like a tiny living thread. It floated toward Evan's chest, humming softly. Evan leaned back, startled. "Is it supposed to float?" "Yes," Lira whispered. "Do not move." The silver thread touched his skin. Evan gasped as a cold, sharp sensation shot through him. It wasn't pain exactly, more like ice and electricity running through his veins. The silver nanites spread quickly, mapping his body from the inside. His vision blurred for a second. His heart raced. "Evan," Lira said urgently, "breathe. Stay calm. They must not sense fear." He forced himself to steady his breath. "I'm okay. Just feels weird." The nanites responded to his voice, glowing brighter. Lira exhaled with relief. "Good, they accept you." But then her body tensed. The red cracks surged again, spreading across her arms like wildfire. "The disease knows," she whispered. "It senses the ritual. It is attacking faster." Evan clenched his fists. "What do I do?" "You must send the nanites back to me," Lira said. "Your body will shape them. Your courage will give them the pattern. Then mine will merge with yours. How do I send nanits? Evan asked. She leaned forward, eyes glowing brighter. You think it. Evan blinked. Think it? Yes, she insisted. Focus on protecting me. Focus on giving me life. He hesitated only a moment. Then he closed his eyes and pictured Lira healed, silver, bright, alive, and he imagined pushing that image into the nanits, the silver energy. Pulsed, then it moved. The nanits flowed from Evan to Lira like a glowing river. Lira gasped as the energy flood entered her. Body shook violently. The red cracks fought the silver. The light exploded. Outward Lira screamed. The walls shook. Evan reached out to steady her. Lira. And in that instant, the ritual truly began. The mining station trembled as if the earth itself was shaking. Silver light burst from Lira's body in wild flashes, fighting against the angry red glow crawling across her skin. The two energies slammed into each other like storms meeting in the sky. Evan held her shoulders, trying to keep her steady. Her screams echoed through the metal halls, sharp and heartbreaking. Lira, stay with me. He shouted. Trying. She forced out, her voice shaking. The silver nanite energy that had come from Evan tried to merge with Lira's own nanits. But the red ash infection attacked like a living predator, biting into the light, breaking it apart. It's stronger than before. Lira gasped. The disease. It mutates. Evan felt fear crawling up his spine, but he forced it down. Fear would only weaken the bond. Lira had told him that clearly. Then we fight it, Evan said firmly. She looked at him with pain-filled eyes. I cannot hold much longer. Then something worse happened. The mining station's front doors exploded inward with a deafening blast. Soldiers rushed inside. Drones flooded the room. The captain stepped forward, his weapon aimed directly at Lira. There she is. He shouted. The alien is unstable. Secure her now. Lightning flashed outside. And for a moment, the soldiers saw the scene clearly. Lira glowing in silver and red light, Evan gripping her hands. Energy twisting between them like threads of living fire. One soldier whispered, terrified, Sir, that's not normal. The captain ignored him. Step away from her, Halle. Evan didn't move. We're in the middle of the ritual. If you stop us now, she dies, and the cure dies with her. She could explode. The captain barked. Look at her. Lira's body shook violently. Red ash crawled up her throat, glowing under her skin. She was seconds from collapse. Please. She whispered, her voice barely a breath. Let us finish. The captain raised his gun higher. I'm ending this. Evan stepped in front of Lira without thinking. His back straight. His heart pounding. You shoot her, Evan said. You kill millions. Silence spread across the room. Rain hammered the roof. The silver and red lights clashed behind. Evan like silent lightning. The captain hesitated, only for a second. But that was all Lira needed. Her voice rose, trembling and weak. Evan, focus. Complete the merge. He turned back to her, holding her hands again. Tell me how. Her breath hitched. You must give the nanits a final command. A single thought. A strong one. It will decide the shape of the cure. Evan swallowed. What thought? Lira's silver eyes met his, full of trust and fear. Life. Evan nodded. He closed his eyes. He pushed aside the sounds of soldiers shouting, drones buzzing, the storm roaring. He pushed aside fear. He focused on one thing, the simple idea that Lira must live. That her people must live. That the galaxy could survive, he whispered, barely audible. Life. The nanits erupted with light. A wave of silver energy shot out, swirling around them both like a living storm. Lira gasped sharply. It's working! The red ash infection on her skin twisted and fought, but the silver light pressed it back. Inch by inch, pulse by pulse, Evan felt heat rush through his chest. The nanites inside him burned like fire and ice mixed together. His vision blurred, but he did not let go. The soldiers backed away, shielding their eyes. What is that? Someone yelled. The captain stumbled backward. Everyone stand down. Stand down! But the light only grew stronger. Lira cried out, not in pain now, but in shock. Evan, your nanites. They're stronger than any human I have ever read. Why? Evan had no answer. He only held on tighter. The silver river inside Lira surged, overwhelming the red cracks. One by one, the glowing red lines shattered. Like glass breaking in slow motion, the disease screamed without sound. Then, blinding burst of silver light filled the room. Evan felt himself thrown backward. He hit the floor hard, coughing, gasping. His body felt heavy, but alive. When the light faded, Evan looked up. Lira stood in the center of the room. Her skin glowed with soft silver. The red cracks were gone. The infection was gone. She was breathing, strong and steady. She was alive. The soldiers stared in complete silence. Even the captain lowered his gun. Lira looked around the room, then down at Evan. Her eyes shone like stars. Evan, she whispered, the bond is complete. He let out a breath of disbelief. You're okay? She nodded slowly. Because of you, and now I carry the cure. But before they could celebrate, the lights in the station flickered. Something outside moved. Something big. The disease wasn't done with them yet, and the real fight was about to begin. The silver glow around Lira softened as the final echoes of the ritual faded. She stood tall and steady, her breath calm, her skin smooth and bright. Every trace of red ash had vanished. She looked renewed, almost reborn. Evan slowly pushed himself up from the floor. His limbs felt heavy, but he was alive. His blood still hummed with faint silver energy, like distant stars pulsing under his skin. Evan, Lira said softly, her voice gentle but strong. You survived the bond. That alone is remarkable. He managed a tired smile. Didn't plan on dying today. The soldiers stared in stunned silence. None dared move. None dared breathe. They had just witnessed something no human had ever seen, a disease feared. Across the galaxy being destroyed by a single human and an alien girl glowing like a star. The captain finally lowered his weapon completely. His voice was low. What exactly are you now? Lira turned toward the humans, her silver eyes calm. I am still Alarine, but now I carry a living cure inside me. A cure shaped by human courage. She looked back at Evan, shaped by you. Before Evan could answer, a violent rumble shook the ground. Dust rained from the ceiling. The storm outside grew darker, colder, louder. What now? Evan muttered. Lira tensed. Red ash is not only a disease. It has a hive mind logic. It senses when a cure is made, and it tries to destroy it. The captain frowned. What are you saying? Lira pointed toward the sealed metal doors. Something infected is coming. As if on cue, the doors buckled inward. Metal groaned. Bolts snapped. A second later, a massive shape slammed against the station with enough force to bend steel. The soldiers scrambled into defensive positions. Evan stood beside Lira, heart pounding. What is it? Lira's voice was steady, but her eyes showed worry. A red ash construct. A creature the disease forms from dead matter. It hunts anything that threatens it. The door burst open. A monstrous figure crawled inside. A twisted mass of red glowing cracks, sharp limbs, and shifting shapes. It did not walk. It flowed like living molten rock. The soldiers opened fire, bullets sparking against the creature's shifting body. But the red ash construct swallowed the metal rounds as if they were nothing. It's absorbing our weapons. A soldier yelled. Evan looked at Lira. Can you stop it? She shook her head. My cure is new and unstable. But your nanits, they are still active. Evan blinked. Inside me? Yes. Her silver eyes locked with his. You carry the same light that healed me. If we combine your energy with mine one more time, we may defeat it. How? Evan asked. She reached for his hands. Together. The creature roared, sending a shockwave across the room that threw soldiers to the ground. Drones shattered in midair. Evan grabbed Lyra's hands tightly. Let's end this. Lira closed her eyes and whispered, Focus. Picture the disease breaking. Picture the red turning to silver. Evan took a deep breath. He imagined light, strong, brilliant, unstoppable. He imagined it cutting through the monster, burning away the red ash infection. The nanits in his blood answered. Silver light burst from his chest, flowing through his arms into Lira, and then outward in a powerful wave. The creature lunged at them, and the wave hit it. The red ash monster screamed with a deep, terrible sound that shook the walls. Its red cracks flickered violently, cracking apart. The silver light wrapped around it like chains, pulling it down, burning through every infected cell. Lira stepped forward, guiding the light. Your time is over, she whispered. The creature thrashed once, twice, then shattered into a cloud of harmless gray dust. Silence fell. The soldiers stared in awe. Evan dropped to one knee, exhausted. Lira knelt beside him, touching his shoulder gently. You did it, she said softly. We did it, he corrected. Outside, the storm finally began to break. The clouds thinned. The rain softened. A quiet calm settled over the forest. The captain approached, helmet tucked under his arm. He stared at Lira, then at Evan. I misjudged you, he admitted. Both of you. Evan shrugged weakly. Happens to the best of us. Lira stood tall. We must send the cure to my people. And to yours. Red ash will not stop spreading unless we act fast. The captain nodded. We'll provide transport. You have my word. Evan looked at Lira. So, what happens to us now? She smiled, tired but warm. Now we save worlds. Evan got to his feet. Then let's get started. Lira reached out and took his hand, not in pain this time, but in quiet gratitude. You gave me life, she said. Now we give life to the galaxy. And as the storm clouds opened to reveal a shining dawn, the two walked out of the mining station together, human and alien, joined by courage, carrying a cure powerful enough to change the fate of the stars. HFY. Humanity, once again, surprised the galaxy.